Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast.
Tomorrow is opening day.
This morning, didn't have a great hunt. Deer didn't move like usual.
We just got set up in the middle of this bedding thicket. Saving this spot from the rut. I think it's a nice buck.
Boom! Hits a 170.
That was money. I think he's down right over there, maybe 10 yards.
Whitetail Legacy Podcast, bringing you back to the hunt and leaving a legacy.
Baller rut.
Yeah. Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast, episode 100 and something. 2 days in our vacation, and it feels like we're on day 100 and something.
Yeah.
We're 3 days into our vacation. I don't even know what day it is. This episode, we're going to break down our public land rut. The public ground that we were hunting is kind of special. It's mostly for goose hunters, so they close it down so we can no longer hunt that. Tragic, because we were on them. Tonight we went out on the private, 17 degrees, 20-mile-an-hour wind, and we got the heater in here ripping, so if there's any background noise, it's because my toes are frozen. So there's that. Let's get into people who make this possible, and we'll get to the show. Start with the VIP veteran broadhead. The combat veteran is out. You guys have heard about it. I'm sure you've been seeing all the pictures on social media, people putting deer down with it. I'm really hoping me and homie get the opportunity to put some deer down with it. We've been so close multiple times. Just it's one of those things where you're having a really good season, but you're just not getting it done.
Yeah.
So you guys that you will be able to see the combat veteran at ATA show. He's going to release it there, so I'm excited for everybody to see this. We absolutely are blown away by this head. And a lot of people are killing critters, putting a lot of deer down, a lot of bucks. So pretty cool. Let's get into the VIP veteran broadhead shout out.
This week's VIP veteran broadhead shout out. So as we are recording this, it is Veterans Day, so we're just going to take a step back and not really shout or highlight any one person, but we're going to shout out everybody that's been a veteran or is a veteran, and our future veterans. So we just want to thank you, thank your families too, because we know that they've been without you. So we appreciate them as well, and we appreciate you guys signing up and doing what you did for us. So from the bottom of our hearts and our family, it means a lot to Cody and I, and something that we're gonna try to instill in our kids is to recognize people that did serve, and teach them that it's very important.
Yeah. Let's get into Ingram's outdoor obsession. Full velvet 140 class deer shot around our area, and it's up there. That's going to be pretty neat to see. I wonder what that guy's getting done.
I don't know.
But it's pretty epic. I mean, like, not a scuff of velvet off of it.
Nope.
Primo. That dude ain't been locking up antlers with anybody.
Right.
But that's pretty awesome. I don't know how to mount that. There's got to be a process. I don't know if that velvet's like hard now. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Matt and Cindy would know, though. I mean, they got the velvet bug too. But that'd be neat to see. But another challenge that he's stepping up and taking on, and the bucks have just been rolling in there. I think he had 8 yesterday.
I was gonna say he had a
yesterday
pile.
Was fire.
He had them all lined up yesterday.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of having a taxidermist as your good friend. I messaged him today. No bucks.
No bucks today.
No bucks today.
Really?
Yeah. Probably because it was 20-mile-an-hour wind, snow, and then 15 degrees out all day. But
might have had something to do with it.
Let's get into Embry Custom Woodworking's ECW.
Dude, I will say, so, we haven't really hit the grunt tube in October that much.
Yeah.
But, that last weekend of October, and then here this past weekend that we were hunting on public, we pulled that out, and I hit it a couple times, and then we just kind of looked at each other and was like, damn, that sounded real nice.
I was like, man, that sounded good.
Yeah.
Because I got another one. and Rainer's been blowing it, and it's just like high. You remember Bigger was talking about that low? That's what it's
Right.
got. It's got that like earthy, like deep, you know what I mean? This sounds right. It just sounds what it's supposed to be.
Right.
We've heard enough grunting this weekend that we know what it should sound like, man. I've heard more grunts this weekend than I have my whole entire hunting career.
This is no joke.
Yeah,
no
it's like
joke.
legit. Like we don't even see the deer. There's like something grunting over there. You know what I mean?
10 minutes later, there he is.
You know, I'm like, what is going on? But
It was like turkey hunting. Like there's a turkey there because you can hear him gobble, but
yeah,
you could just hear.
you
You
can't
know there's a buck there.
You
'cause he's
can't
grunting.
see him at all. He's 60 yards away grunting. You're like, can't see you, bro. It's too thick. I don't know what do you call that stuff back there?
Oh,
we'll get
dude.
into that, but
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. But anyways,
Epic is what it is.
Sitlock. You've been wearing the Revenant suit. How's that been holding up in this cold weather, man?
It has been solid. We did 2 all-day sits. Started out in the mid to low 20s, and then obviously got up into the mid 40s during the day. Yesterday, I did not even put my pants on. I've been packing in the suit because we have a really far pack in. So I've just been strapping it to Lone Wolf and my book bag, and I didn't even put my pants on yesterday. So that jacket just keeping me good, keeping the wind off of me. So still really impressed with that on year 2 of that.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. I don't have one of those, but I wish I did. No, I was pretty solid. Other than my toes, man. I talk about this podcast a lot. I got the boot covers. We didn't pack them in to public though, but I just got weak toes, man.
Yeah, I made the mistake not doing that tonight.
Yeah,
wow,
no,
dude
wow,
is
yeah.
screaming.
Yeah, it was brutal. We were like, what's that 4 hours? It won't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Literally, right when we get there, we got does on us.
Oh yeah.
2 minutes in the stand, so should have got there a little earlier. But all right, that's it. Let's get into the show. So we want to break down some tactics that made us almost successful on an absolute monarch on public. This is a deer that we've been keeping low key, and we released a picture of him. So we feel like this public is far enough away from where we live that we have a good chance of keeping it hidden. That's one thing about having a podcast. You got people listening, and you're like, oh, there's this giant out on public. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I literally do not think anyone will find him where he's at. There's just
No.
literally physically no way that someone's going to find him. There's some crazy people
I
out
was
there.
there. There's one guy.
There's one guy who knows where he's at, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
we've struck up a friendship, and I hope to have him on the show because he knows his public land pretty good. I'd like to have three of his buddies all in
Right,
here
yeah.
and do a public land breakdown because he's got 3, giants from public. And but anyways, we almost got it done on an absolute giant. Almost got it done on a 155 class, 140 class,
Yep.
mid 130s 8. Like I said, a lot of people say 130s 8, but I mean that was maybe a touch bigger. I'm trying to play it easy. That was a really solid 8 point.
Yeah, he was,
Had-
and he was the one, grunting before we even heard him.
Yeah.
He was grunting.
Seen more 2.5-year-old bucks in one weekend than I have in a whole season. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, it was absolute
But,
money.
So I think we should break it down. How do you want to do it? You want to do it like why we were back there first, or
I think we should maybe just start with like you scouting in the winter,
okay,
or
yeah.
like why'd you even go back there in the winter?
So I had hunted this piece previous years, and I had seen some good bucks come out of a certain area. One in particular would have been 3 years ago. He was coming out of that area, and I seen him 3 times in the daylight early season and just could never connect on him. A really good like 150s class 10-pointer and tall tine, tight, feeding in a field with some does, and there's just no trees. That's always our excuse,
Yeah.
but there's no trees. So he's coming out of this area, and I told homie, I'm hunting this piece, and there's like nobody on it. But then last year, I started seeing some more people, seeing more stands, more cameras. So my mind went to, let's find something that there's ag close to bedding and maybe away from people. So that's what I was trying to do. And I found the spot that I literally thought no one would be crazy enough to go besides me. get back there, and there's cams back there this year. You know what I mean? But I went back there last season, and I scouted a couple spots, 2 trees in particular. One was where they're coming off ag. I told homie, I said, man, it's money in the morning coming off ag. We got bucks daylight in the evening back there, though. So it's just good all, And we run rank 1 cam on 1 trail, and we probably missed 75% of the movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's actually 3, possibly 4 good trails going back there, and we're set up on 1. And when we went back there to pull it that day, there was a small 6-pointer right, 12 yards from the tree that we're going to try to get in.
No picks on the
and
cam.
no picks.
Yeah. So that just goes to show you it's hard when you got those different options to try to pick. But we just try to pick, we just want to know if there's good bucks in this area.
Right.
That was our goal. I found a decent shed back there. That's late season. This particular or public, you can't hunt late season. You're done in November, early November. You're done. So it goes off goose season. Shout out to all the goose hunters. I hate you guys right now because you're just killing me on this bucks. But I feel like if we could hunt out there all rut, it'd be.
Oh, if they give us till up to opening goose. Oh, dude.
Yeah. But
you better get that second buck tag out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But anyways, that's where I got. So I went back there and I scouted and I picked out a couple trees, and the one that we didn't even hunt. I was like, this is the spot, you know what I mean? And I feel like I thought that was the spot because it was safer, right? It was further away from the bedding. If you had a west wind, you're real
west,
solid.
Northwest.
Yeah, you're real.
Maybe a southeast.
Yeah, you're real solid there. So I was thinking my same ways, just play away from the bedding. And I think we would have seen a lot of bucks there.
I think we would have too.
Yeah. And we got the giant coming through there. We got the 10 coming through there that we've seen. We got
a solid 9.
West Side coming through there.
Yeah.
We'll talk about West Side and this other buck in a little bit.
Yeah.
But, so that's why I was back there. We hung the cam just to see if there was good bucks back there. It's close to the property line to private. So we knew that it was going to be a good shot. We didn't think literally anybody would be back there. 2 reasons. One, because the access is incredibly hard, even early season. It's very challenging to get back there.
Yeah. All the foliage and everything.
It just I know you hear that from a lot of people, but I don't. This is insane. That ravine. I'm on my hands and knees crawling up this thing, legitimately. And we're going stands and sticks and camera gear and all, everything. But then, when that early goose season comes in, they close the gate.
Yep.
So then you got a 3/4 mile hike before you even get to where you used to park. You know what I mean? So now you just added 3/4 mile what you were doing before.
In a truck.
So me and homie opted for bikes. And I will tell you this. That was still a lot of work. If we didn't have to carry all that stuff, walking would have been better than bikes.
Yeah,
it would have just took so long.
I'm still not convinced that biking is. Maybe just walk your bike out.
Yeah.
Write it down. So that way you're not burning time in the morning. Write it down. Walk that thing.
Because it was taking us an hour and a half from the truck to the stand. So, that's an hour and a half, and we're not messing around.
No, yeah.
We're biking 3/4 mile and walking 3/4 mile at a fast pace.
Yeah.
So it's taking an hour and a half to access. So I think without that bike, man, it would add at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, I would say you're probably looking another half hour.
Yeah. Because you could walk at walking pace. And it's downhill all the way besides the last 150 yards. It's straight up on a bike.
Yeah.
But then you'd have to walk all the way down that gravel.
Yeah.
So you're adding another 1/4 mile, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'm thinking another half hour.
Yeah, at least.
But I think bike in, walk that bike out.
Yeah. With all your stuff in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just pedaling uphill the whole way back.
Oh, dude.
After you've been sitting all day.
Cody went out Friday night and hunted back there, and I was still at work. And then I got out into another spot Friday night, and Cody called me after he got back to the truck, and he's like, "This bike out is sick."
Yeah. I was like, getting out wasn't bad. The bike out, dumb.
Dude.
It was dumb. Like, I got to the truck, I was like, I am cashed.
Yeah.
And then I woke up and did it again, and I woke up and did it again. I was like, oh, my God. The third day, I'm like, we stopped 3 times on the bike on the way back up.
Yeah, we tried to walk a little bit.
Yeah, and then
we're
got
like,
back
all
on.
All right, we're good. We can bike again.
But anyway, so that was the access. But props to the guys that are hunting out there.
Yeah.
One guy in particular, like I said, I want to have him on the show. He was doing the exact same thing we were, just crazy. But he knew those bucks were back there. We got to swap and trail cam pics. We're all hunting the same deer. So it was cool that, like, a lot of people could have been real nasty, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Giant bucks.
Big deer.
Yeah. And they could have been real nasty about it, but he was super cool and made a good friend, man. I'm excited. I wish he would have got one down, man. He hunted back there hard.
He did.
So he got real close multiple times. But anyways, like I said, so we're talking about public land, so it's scary that someone might track us down and find us, but we're not that big, so no one we should have to worry about that.
Right.
But anyways, we were back there, found the sheds, thinking no access, blah, blah. So that's why I went back there. I scouted, and I don't think I scouted enough, because then I went down to that where we had the other exodus. Instead of going further to the south and in, I went up and run that ridge down. I seen all that sign. I was like, oh, this is it.
Okay.
And then I went straight over the hill.
Did you think that was bedding right there where all that sign was?
Yeah. I thought that was bedding because it was there. That would be the downward side of bedding on a northwest or a west. And that's what I thought those bucks were doing, cruising that ridge, all that scent coming up that ridge on a west or a northwest. And they were cruising back and forth, hitting all them scrapes.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was leading towards that area that the guy had the stand on the other side. So, of course, that stand wasn't back there. And I'm thinking, I told you, I said, there's no one's going to be back here. Like, there's no way.
Right.
And, but anyways, so I didn't go in there. I didn't crush into that. And that was the one thing I kept saying in that stand this year. I'm like, man, this winter, we got to go into that. We got to see what's in there. Yeah.
So so you found that tree first, is what you said.
Mm-hmm.
And then did you just think it was money, and then you just kind of moved off to another area?
I thought it was money. I thought that tree, like I told you, that's a kill tree.
Yeah.
Like that is dead nuts, a kill tree. And I still think it is, but I think where we set up the second spot is, it is too. Anywhere out there is good. You know what I mean?
Be in that block.
Just that 10 that we almost shot, it was angled right to that other tree.
Right.
At 1:40 in the afternoon. You know what I mean? Like, you could have got a shot over there. He might have worked right around that little pond and pinched in, 30-yard shot, boom. There's more shooting at that other tree.
Way more shooting.
So that you got to weigh that into opportunity. Like, we seen how much struggle that was. If you see the deer, but you still can't shoot them, like, and you think maybe the cover is better in that tree, there's a lot more.
You're the only tree there, though.
Yeah, there are a lot of limbs. Where
we were, we thought we had
like
more
4
back
trees.
cover.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, we still got picked off a couple times.
I think that tree's got those vines and stuff in it. I think there's more cover there, and I think it's not in a hole. That's like one of the huge problems.
Right? It's holding 2 foot of water.
Well, it's not like 7 foot in a hole.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
our tree, the tree we were hunting, it's like 7 foot in a hole compared to where the other deer are. So we're losing 8.
It might be like 9, 10 foot.
Yeah, we're losing like 8 to 10 foot of steps. We're using 4 steps at the max. 4 full-length lone wolf at the, like, where you can barely reach the next step.
Yeah. You almost got to do a pull-up.
You
to
know
get
what I mean?
on it.
And we're going all the way up there, and then the camera guys stand like, that's a full 2-3 foot higher than the seat of the other guy's stand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we were stepping on the seat and going up.
Yep.
But I feel like there's more cover there, more shooting, better wind. It's just we would in that spot, and
Yeah,
we didn't want to take the time to move because we knew we were there. You know what I
right.
mean?
And, one thing that I've said on here, I'm pretty sure you've said it a couple times, is like, you're in the right area and you got a good tree, but are you in that kill tree?
Mm-hmm.
And right now, we just don't know. I'm pretty sure we could have killed out of that other one, but we thought we could have killed out of this one too.
Yeah, it's just that area. I mean, we got so close. I think that pinch that we thought was gonna help us hurt us a little bit.
Yeah,
because they're pinching so close to that. You know what I mean? On that other one, that pinch is 30 yards, 25 yards. And the other side of the pinch is like 20.
Yep.
They could be right on top of you on the other side, but another struggle with public lands, not supposed to cut tree limbs. You know what I mean? In Illinois, you're not supposed to cut tree limbs. So we're trying to do like the very minimal list in the tree, like to make it safe for us to hunt. But like around us, we're not, like if that was private, be out there with a chainsaw, you know what I mean? Getting some of that stuff out, but you just can't do that. So you just have to make it happen.
Yep.
And
which
that was a
I don't
challenge.
think I don't think a lot of people that hunt private, might know that, because I didn't until I started diving in a little bit deeper into the public stuff. So yeah, that's a big challenge that you can't cut anything out there. So that's just another struggle of public land that is a big factor. But
I feel like they're okay with you like cutting some limbs and tree, you know what I mean, to make it safe to get into. But I don't think they'd be okay with like, oh, this tree's in
I
got to
take this whole tree out.
Yeah.
You know
what I mean? Like I got to take this cottonwood that's 6 inches around out. You know what I mean? Like that ain't like on private, you just whack it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But out there, I don't think they would be cool with it. And back there, it needs some trees, bro. It needs,
Yeah.
Because there's no trees. That's like the number one challenge is there's no trees.
Yep.
If there was a tree 10 yards from the tree we were in, dead. Like that would be the
If
tree.
there was a tree at the end of that ridge, it'd be sick.
Yeah, but there's just not. There's not a tree within 150 yards of where we're at.
No.
That not
Well, maybe 100, because the crossbow guys. What did I say he was?
250.
Oh, he was 250. Okay,
Yeah.
150.
Yeah.
Yep, 150.
So, yeah, we had a crossbow hunter 250 yards from us. We walked in and we walked past him, and it's insane that that's only 250 yards with a rangefinder.
I
But when
know.
you walk it, you're like, what is? It just took me 45 minutes to get 250 yards. You know what I mean?
Guy sat till 9:30.
Yeah, guy sat till 9:30, called it, but it was windy, man. It was,
He was getting beat.
Yeah, it was brutal out there. But so, okay, we got the trail cam fixed. We know there's big deer back there. Now we had to figure out the tree, right? Okay, so we had one tree picked out, and like I said, I feel like if we would have hunted that tree, we still would have killed or had the opportunity. We still would have seen bucks. We know that.
Yeah.
But we go to hunt that tree earlier in the year. It's in 2 foot of standing water. And we didn't prep anything.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Nope.
I didn't go back there and prep anything. We didn't prep anything when we were hanging cams.
Because, it was literally dry as a bone.
Yeah, it was dry.
It was a little soft because we'd seen some tracks in there.
Yeah.
But didn't think that it was going to be 2 feet,
Yeah.
You can go in there 8-10 inches of water and be fine. But
2 feet. You're talking knee deep water. And that was when that cold front came in, and you got a mile and a half out.
yeah, because you asked me, you'd be like, hey, you got your rubbers on? I'm like, no, it's cold this morning. I got my insulated boots on. Just like, well, we ain't going here, so made another plan. Yeah, that was like 36 degrees that morning.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's where we found the second tree. I was like, well, let's just go up to that pinch and hunt it, you know what I mean? And then we hunted it, and the deer did exactly what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Every deer that came through there, we could have killed.
October 12th.
Yeah. October 12th, we had a cold front come in. We went way deep, hang and hunt, and literally every deer that came through that area came right through that pinch, and not one deer did that during the rut.
No.
Every deer, so there was 2 bucks and 4 does, or 1 buck and 4 does, and they all came either through the one pinch or through the other pinch, and they were at 20 yards.
Yep.
Every one of them. And we were like, oh, this is perfect. These does are going to be doing the same thing. We didn't have a doe come from that way.
No. Never seen a doe back there.
Whole weekend.
No.
So, but we were like, they're just going to do that. Bucks are going to be right behind them. We're going to draw. They're in this thick stuff where you couldn't get a shot.
Yeah.
We're like, we'll leave all that stuff. That's where we'll draw. They'll come out, be quartering away, 20 yards, boom, money. And they did the complete opposite, of course. So now we're in the second tree. We know where the bedding is. So all the does, where I thought the bedding was, all the does went right into there.
Yep.
We're like, okay, that solidifies that is the doe bedding. And so we felt really good. I think we felt really confident. But we knew what wind we could not hunt that on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, if it's this, there's no way. So we're like, the best case for us, I feel like, is like straight west. But it's not. It's just so hard.
Dude, it's like north is what
Straight
we
north.
you know
Straight
what I mean?
north, right into that water.
Yeah.
But
Even though they're crossing down there, we
Yeah.
seen maybe 4 or 5 deer do that all day yesterday. I mean, does and small bucks, no megas did that.
Yeah, I
but-
feel like that's one of those spots that you don't hunt, and then you just go in there
and just risk
and
it.
just risk it.
Last week, just risk it.
Yeah, just going in there and
Because just like you said, no deer that's out there is going to see another human being for the rest of the year.
yeah,
Rest of the year,
yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
So
We know that buck. As long as he don't go too far to the south, it's gonna live another year. He
Right.
made it all last year.
yeah,
So, okay. Anyways, so we're in that tree. All the deer are doing exactly what we think we're gonna do, and so I went in there Friday. I had a Southwest.
Friday, November 9th? Seriously?
And then, anyways, so homie's finding the date.
The 8th.
I had the rutcation coming up. I had a ton of stuff that I needed to get done with the family, and some stuff I needed to finally finish up at work, and some stuff like that. We're getting ready to travel to Missouri, so trying to figure that out. And I end up taking a day early and getting a lot of that stuff done and being able to sneak out in the evening. So I went back in there midday, and I packed a stand and sticks in there, so we already hung halfway the first day without homie's stand and the camera stuff and everything. So I get in there, 140. I have a really solid 9-pointer come through, have a 6-pointer come through, and they do what that spike buck did, but then they didn't go through the pinch. They worked up there where like that 10 did.
Oh.
And went on like the backside of that ridge around that pond. If there's a tree right there.
Dude, that skinny tree up there, I mean.
Yeah, but it's too far away. I feel like it's so far to the
North?
south. Yeah, 2,000 you north. Yeah, it doesn't look
I
very
don't
far
know.
from the stand.
No, but that's. You could have killed both of them deer yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Wind would have been wrong though.
Well, you got to shoot him before that.
Yeah. Oh man, be about 8 foot off the ground.
Yeah. 8 foot off the ground, quartering
Hanging
two
over
shot.
hanging over the water.
We know how that goes.
But anyways, then I had a bunch of does in the evening, 3-pointer, just good action, had some midday action. Don't know what the morning was, wasn't there. Had some midday action, then had some really good action during the day. Saturday comes along. We go back in there. This is after I left, come back, second time accessing.
Yep.
We're carrying another stand this time. Get in there, hang the stand. For some reason, we were just late that day. I don't know what it was. We were just running a little later.
I think we had a good plan, and I think we executed that plan right. And we knew the time we needed to be set up, and I don't know.
I don't know. But anyways, it was getting closer to shooting. It wasn't shooting light yet when we were set up, but it was getting close.
Because we weren't about 3 minutes past some other guys.
Mm-hmm. And anyways, so then we set up, and it's early, like 6:40.
Yeah, 6:45. I'm standing up because the wind's coming out of the southwest. I'm standing up facing the north, trying to get that wind in my back to get through the morning hours and not freeze myself out. I just look up into the northeast, and there's a little opening, and there's a giant 10 standing there, and I'm like, okay, I see him. Sun's just peeking up. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous out. And I go around, just move my head, go around and tell Cody, hey, there's a giant over here. And then Cody stands up, and I look back around the tree, and deer's kind of like looking more north. And then he comes back and was looking kind of our way. And then which our scent's kind of blowing there.
Right at him.
Yeah.
Scent's blowing right
I mean,
at
he's
him.
right on the edge.
Yeah.
So it's just like, or he might have hit where we walked in on that trail. It's hard to tell where we walk in there in the morning because every time it's different. So he's right there at our ground scent where our scent wall is blowing, and he just didn't like it. And then he turned around and went straight east, which is completely away from us. His right antler got caught on this bush, raked it back, so his head's caught on it for like a half second and just made him look just huge, So, not being like too jacked up about it because I'm not hunting, I'm the camera guy, and I mean it was a solid mid 150s 10, decent brows, really good 2s and 3s, good beams. So that was at 6:45 in the morning, and that was the only deer we seen that day, right? We didn't see
a
nothing.
deer. Didn't see a deer after that.
Didn't see nothing.
So we went from pretty decent action on the 9th.
Friday night, yeah.
The 10th, 1 buck early in the morning.
No, 8th. You were
8th,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
So 9th, 1 buck early in the morning, then nothing all day. All day set, no deer. Talking to 3 other guys on that same property, none of them seen deer.
Yep.
One guy had a cell cam out there, no deer on the cell
And
cam.
they all sat all day, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, 2 of them got
2 of
down,
them got
scouted,
down, did some scouting.
got back up. The other guy sat all day.
Yep.
Didn't see anything.
I'm assuming the crossbow guy didn't see
Yeah,
nothing
because he was down early.
at 9:30.
Yeah. And, but yeah, so there's 4 guys out there that didn't see any deer from the stand, and then a cell cam that didn't see
Probably
any deer.
what, 500 acres?
Covering a lot of ground, yeah.
I mean, a lot.
The deer just were not moving. And that was that day
Even a couple of text messages to people on private didn't see nothing.
Yeah. That was the day that it got up to, what, 50,
Yeah,
49?
52, yeah.
So we didn't know maybe that high temperature, that buck was coming into that bedding area real early, going to check it and bed in there all day.
Yeah, so that 150's 10 was going to work the pinch. Can you hear me?
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay. He was going to work the pinch perfect, just like they did on October 12th when we were there, and go right to the bedding. But he just hit that scent wall, I think, and he rolled out.
That's like another thing. Like, if you're going to save this spot for literally 3 or 4 days for the whole entire year, straight north is probably what we need. You're probably right, blowing us right down there. But, like, southwest, there's still a lot of ground bucks could come from.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
props to you for going back there on that.
Yeah.
Like, you got to risk it,
Yeah,
I know you're the safe guy, but you got to go.
You got to go when it's like that. I mean, like, I feel like there's so many other hunters out there. They're going to get scented by someone that day if they're traveling anyway. So maybe it's you. Maybe a deer gets scented and runs over,
Yeah, if they're not blowing at you, they're blowing at probably at somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, that a deer gets, when someone else circles around to get around here, and boom, there you are.
Or that guy's hunting this spot thinking the deer are going to come from here, and he's never been deeper than what he is now, so he has no idea what the deer are doing behind him. His scent's blowing right to all of them, and it's messing the deer up that are coming to you,
Yeah. So, but yeah, so first day, decent. Second day, nothing. Third day, insano. And we were trying to, we're like the technical guys. We try to be strategic, but we don't know what the hell we're doing. All we know is how to put work in. That's the only thing we know.
Yeah.
And
put our ass in
I know where to
stand.
find them. I can find the deer. I just can't kill them. Like, I can, if you want to see a deer out of the stand, I'm your man. But
we get nighttime pics and visual sightings.
Visuals in the rut,
just
like
out of range.
mud, but just out of range. But
that's why we like gun hunting.
yeah, hell yes. But go ahead and you can go ahead. Sunday, homie was hunting. I had that first day. I wish I'd have chose the second day, man. Should have rock, paper, scissored it and seen what fate brought. But
well, with the Action Friday, I mean,
yeah, you'd already hunted back there once, and
yeah,
you got just as many hunts back there as I do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. So Sunday morning, we're in there super early and doing like we just left our stuff up from Saturday. Still had a bike in, but weren't packing standing sticks. And we were in there literally set up, ready to go, which you get your camera stuff set up about 5-8 minutes sooner than I do. Because I take my fluid head off. Tonight I didn't when I was getting out.
Mm-hmm.
But, you set up a little faster, and we're sitting there, and I looked at my phone. It was 5:49, still pitch dark, and, we could literally, roll the film and shoot, it gets dark at it gets light at 6:10, 6:15.
Like we were sitting there, and I was like, man, it's been dark a long time.
Yeah.
Like we've been sitting here at least 30 minutes.
I mean, it was perfect.
Because something about my phone, like if I take it out of my pocket, it's down 10%. If it's cold out, it just smokes it. I don't know, but so I don't, and I'm not one to be on my phone out there very much. I try to really stay in. Like for all day sets.
You gotta save that battery
life.
You gotta
save that battery life
that
like
midday
a mug. But
so just like how it happened Saturday morning, Cody's in the cameraman stand, which is higher, probably where the hunter's gonna be next year, and he's like, hey, there's a doe or there's a deer. So I'm like, okay, so
she was blowing, remember?
Oh yeah, she was blowing, scared the shit out of us.
So it's like just past shooting light, maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm running
800.
I'm running 800 ISO for the filming guys out there. So it's like getting where you're 800 is about my max I want to run.
Yeah.
And to make it look clean, and it's probably about the same time, about 6:40 as that other buck came in. You know what I mean? About the same time.
So this doe just starts blowing, and she blew probably 9 or 10 times.
We're looking at each other, and I'm like, there is no way. That's north of us, and our wind's blowing straight north. There is no way no ground scent, nothing.
Nothing. So, and she's on the other side of this ridge, and I don't think she's going to stop because it's just going on and on and on. And I'm like,
I thought she blew 30 times, to be honest with you, dude.
It was so much.
And it was loud. The first one, I jumped.
I jumped too.
You know
I mean, it was just, oh man, dude.
You know how it is? It's just dead quiet in the morning.
Yeah, it was so quiet.
Yeah, and then just that, just shatters you. You're like,
I'm like, and then your heart kind of starts jumping a little bit. You're like, oh, dude, all these deer are alerted now.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, and it finally quiets down, maybe 2 minutes, and then Cody's like, hey, there's a deer. And I'm like, okay. So I'm literally looking right where this deer was at, and I was thinking, okay, it must be a scenario like yesterday. Deer's behind us, so I'm not going to do any rash movements or anything. I'll just kind of get my hand over here by my bow, get ready, and then I look up at Cody, and I'm like, all right, where's it at? And he's like, it's right there. So then I'd seen it, and it's 1 o'clock. I'm like, oh, okay, I see it now. And she's looking right at us. And she's 38 yards. And then she kind of bounds off. There's a little creek farther from us that she gets down into, crosses, gets up on top of that little knoll over there. And then out steps this little 9-pointer. Solid buck.
I'm like, here comes a buck.
Yeah, Cody's like buck. Yeah,
I'm like, buck, nice buck. And homie stands up, and here comes this 9-pointer, and I'm like, that ain't the buck I seen.
Yeah, so he goes down and goes up on that ridge right where that doe did, and I look up at Cody. I was like, not a shooter. So I'm like, okay, put my bow back on the hook, sit back down, and then you're trying to tell me, no, there's another.
Yeah, I'm kicking him. I'm like, hey, no, get ready. He's getting ready to sit down. I'm like, no, there's a shooter coming. I seen his right side. It's a big deer, you know what I mean? And he was on a run, and I think he was trying to run that other buck off.
Yeah.
And like he like lost that doe, obviously.
So right at the end of this ridge that is in between the deer and us, he's behind, and then there's a pond and a little runoff overflow that kind of makes a little creek there. This big deer's on the backside of this knoll, and he jumps down in the creek, and now he's behind some couple bushes, and he's working to like where that doe went, and then he sees that other buck up on top of the hill. He loses his doe, and he's down there grunting and doing all kinds of stuff. He comes up out of the creek to run this little buck off, and we get the back view of him, and I mean, it's just a mega. Like, you can see him working down in the creek, and you get his, like, side profile. Perfectly symmetrical. He's got this little fork off his G2. Really deep, but the tine's not very long. And then I'm, like, trying to decide if, like, it's a shooter. I'm like, he's pretty heavy.
I'm like, oh, it's a shooter. In my mind, I'm like, it's a shooter.
I'm like, it's probably going to be a shooter. And then, like, when he steps out of the creek,
when he does that, like, half turn.
Yeah.
I hope it's on the audio. I'm like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
I said it out loud. I'm like, holy shit. I'm filming. Like, I got to nail this. You know what I mean? He's just coming out, and he's doing that, like, posture up to that other buck. And that little buck kind of postured to him a little bit.
Yeah. And, you know, the big buck's, like, doing the sway. He's got the sway to him, you know. It just...
He's got that, like, his body's, like, half crinkled around when he's going up against that other buck.
I'm just going to hit you with every angle of my rack, bro. I'm coming at you.
Yeah.
And so, you know, of course, we're looking at the back. I mean, at the back, they always look huge. He's got a lot more main beam than what he showed on our trail cam pics. I know that.
But the other trail cam pics, you can see.
Yeah, the other
beam.
trail cam pics, dead giveaway.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, on our trail cam pics, we had this nice, like, side profile of him. We've seen some other pics of him that he's giant, obviously, on the video and in real life. He's got the frame.
It's all about that angle, man. You get
All
an
about that
angle that's
angle,
quartering
dude.
two on a buck, just like when we had Freeze.
Yeah.
If I showed that picture of Freeze to anybody, they'd be like, it's a 160, 170 class deer.
Yeah.
And then you get him face forward or backwards. Remember that picture I got of Freeze backwards early? We were like, holy crap, that thing's 200. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
so this buck, like, on trail cam, he'd be like we just literally was like, okay, shooter buck.
that's
You
like a
kinda
160.
scrolled on.
I was like, that's a 150, 160.
Yeah. So, and then, you see him in real life, and it's just like,
Yeah, he's
It's next
gained
level.
10 inches
yeah.
plus. But
So he come up and bumped that other buck off, and then they kind of farted around. Doe's still bouncing around everywhere, and then they go back into the bedding, and we don't see him again.
So I just wanted to say this. So the doe comes out perfectly broadside, 38 yards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then she works on. The other buck goes in the creek or jumps the creek and kind of goes up that hill.
Yep.
And never really gives us a shot. And you would think that buck would be following that doe trail. This buck jumps in 4-foot deep water, swims a little bit, then gets in the creek where it's belly deep and it's just sloshing through it, and then climbs up out of it to like cut this little buck off from where he thinks, because like he's walking up the hill and he's looking for that doe. You can see him,
Yeah.
and then he's like, okay, she's gone, or maybe he's seen her in there,
He might have, yeah.
and then he's like, all my focus is on this little buck, and he like trying to like push him, and that little buck just kind of just. Like, I don't want
back
nothing.
across the creek towards us.
Yeah, went right back towards us, and then kind of circled that big deer. And then that big deer just kind of like slowly walked down the ridge. Like he wasn't like I don't think he was on that doe. I think he was
because he was grunting before when he was back on the other side of the ridge, because I heard him grunt before I seen him, because I was like, okay, all right, something is back there.
Every deer back there is grunting. Like I've never. In my
if you're
life,
in that area, you have to grunt.
Yeah, like I've never in my life heard so much. Like there's bucks chasing each other behind us and like thick cover, and I'm like, oh, there's something back there. I can hear him grunting.
Yeah.
And I kept like, was that a grunt? Because there's like, you don't hear them that often. Like
No,
in the rut,
not-
you hear them every now and then.
Right.
But you don't hear like 30 grunts a day. They're just back there, bah, 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 bah. You know, just ridiculous amounts.
It was insane. It was insane. The stud 8 that we had midday, He was chasing another buck early,
Yeah.
and we heard him grunting. And then he worked off and went.
Yeah, because I seen him. They were behind us. I was like, there's a shooter back there, probably mid 130s. I seen this side frame, really nice buck. He's chasing the smaller buck. And that smaller buck was like an 8, right?
Yeah,
like a small 8.
Yeah.
And then they ended up being like, they went south of us, probably 80 or 100 yards where we couldn't see them. And they ended up being like 150 away when we seen them.
Yeah.
They were way over there.
So then when when this 8 showed up on the pond, I never seen a deer sitting down.
Yeah.
I was always standing up.
Uh-huh.
So I stood up and then, boom, I see that doe on the corner of the pond. And I was like, hey, there's a deer on the pond. And you're like, oh, it's just a doe. I'm like, just wait a second. So then that 8 showed up, pushed her. And then I feel like that they got into that where the bedding starts.
Yeah.
And he lost her.
Yeah.
Because he did 3 laps around there.
Yeah.
And we seen it. I don't know if it was the mega from the morning or not.
I think it was that 150s 10 that we seen the morning before. It was just because I got my binos on them because the 8 was there, and you're like, was that a shooter? And I pull my binos up. I'm like, yeah, that's that 8 I seen over here.
Yep.
Mid 130s class 8. That's a big 8. Like,
Yeah.
That's a really solid 8. And dark chocolate horns, and then that 10 comes into frame, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, here we go. I pull them up. I'm like, okay, that's that 10 that we got on cam, dark antlered. And he didn't even go after the doe. He just went over the hill.
Yeah. 8's still grunting. Like, we can just hear him making laps grunting. We
Yeah.
seen him when it's only on the corner of the
I was
pond.
like, that 8 or 10's going to be over here chasing this doe, and there's just a small buck just right there. It's like it's like those big ducks who would check the doe, not ready, gone. Like, they don't even mess around.
Yeah.
Those small bucks,
Like, I'll find
those
me one that's ready.
2-year-old just hang. They're just hanging with them, waiting. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That big bucks.
I will say that did look like a younger fawn, though.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, she was a smaller fawn. So yeah, this 8's chasing, 10's up in the corner. Just happened to see him, just because
like
our attention was
10
up there.
seconds of him, maybe.
Dude, I mean, you ever just get like that? I like to call it like the hunter instinct. Like, you don't ever look over this direction, but for some reason you just look over there and boom, there's a deer.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of this scenario. It's just like, boom, it was right there.
Yeah, because I was looking to the back because that's where they'd been
That's
grunting.
where they were grunting,
Yeah.
and then boom,
So
they're
I'm like
way up
trying
there.
And that just goes to show you, like, there's so many bucks back there. I snort wheezed at one. We grunted at them. I snort wheezed at 2 bucks.
2, yeah.
Grunted, nothing. Didn't care at all. Just
No.
keep grunting and bumping around, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
That
then,
one I snort wheezed, ran right at us. And then another buck came out of nowhere and, like, hit him on the side, and then they were gone. I was like, well, okay, can't compete with the real thing, I guess.
Yep. So we seen the mega at 6:45ish, both days, and then
Like 9 o'clock, probably. Or when was it?
no, it was later than that. It was like 11. It was 6:45, 11, 1, 1:45, 3:30.
Yeah.
So
like 11 o'clock.
at
there.
11,
2 shooters.
2 shooters,
Yeah.
and then at 1:40
Yeah.
had this 10 work right up
That
over
was
this
so funny.
ridge.
I'm looking back to the south again, and homie goes, "Hey, bro."
Yeah, I'm like, hey, bro,
Yeah.
bro. You're like, I'm like, deer right there.
Yeah, like
And he's
30
already
yards.
30 yards.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's moving.
Yeah, he's cruising hard.
He's cruising hard. So that pinch we've been talking about, he's going to work that way, except he's going the opposite direction of what we're supposed to be doing. So I'm like, okay.
the cover that we left to draw
Yeah.
screwed us.
Right. So I'm like, I got maybe a little pocket here. If he holds on the far side of the pinch, if he is going to go through the pinch, if he holds on the far side,
He'd have been hard quartering away. Yeah.
then he would have been broadside if he was going to go with the actual pinch.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, so I get drawn, and next thing I know, he is just literally coming closer and closer.
You could have chest shot him quartering 2, and that's the only shot you had.
Yeah.
And it just,
And he was moving.
Yeah.
There was no stopping him.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have been able to stop him.
I don't know. You could have maybe mad at him, and then he would have looked up, but chest shots just,
Yeah.
I can't do that.
So he was literally 5 yards from the base of the tree, and then he just got up and over and,
Just cruise right past.
cruise right past. So could have been had a buck down at 1:40 in the afternoon, back there deep on public, and it would have been a sweet buck.
Oh yeah, it's super
So
cool.
he was kind of short time, but
Yeah.
I mean, he was still a shooter for both of us.
Yeah.
And then we had that same doe from the morning come out with that 9-pointer.
Yeah, so the 9-pointer that was with
the mega
buck was with that same doe, that younger, smaller doe.
Yep.
She comes out, 9-pointer comes out, and then there's another buck running behind them like crazy, and we're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh,
I'm like,
here comes,
oh, dude.
here he comes.
Match up the morning footage, sat all day.
Yeah.
I'm like, comes out. She's coming straight at us.
Yeah, she comes to 25 yards.
Yeah, she comes halfway across the open part where we can shoot for days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then here steps out this 90-inch 8-pointer. We're like,
Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, there's still a buck back there grunting.
Yeah.
And then out steps like another 90-inch 8-pointer. I'm like, oh, all right.
yeah, perfect.
But one thing I don't think we covered is Cody said that the big deer come in right where the doe was, hopped in the creek. So he was at like 38 yards for like maybe a quarter second before he jumped down.
You couldn't have shot him, yeah, because
Then he's behind all that brush
Yeah.
that I know I said that. When he's up on the hill chasing off that other buck, bumping that
you
around.
had maybe one shot at
maybe
like
one
52
shot at 52
yards.
yards, yeah. 52, 51.
Yeah, on a buck that's been
Zigzagging.
behind brush, out of brush.
Yeah, he's not like just out there
52
chilling.
yards on a mega. You got
And
he's in tall grass still.
how long was your footage of him? Do you remember?
I think like 2 minutes, but
Yeah.
like maybe a minute or 35 seconds of it's like him in real, like behind when he's walking through, you can barely see him.
So, I mean, at 50 yards, which I mean,
He
it is a poke.
stood there for maybe 3 or 4 seconds at 50 yards.
Yeah.
52 yards. But I mean that's just 52 yards is a long shot.
on a mega.
Yeah. And he was with that buck, chasing that buck off, and that buck was closer to us, and he kind of looked up at us when he got closer.
through the creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it's happening in the rut, man. You just
Yeah.
got so much going on. You're like, it's hard to choose when you're going to draw.
I
and
feel like
make it
50
happen.
yards in a food plot, deers, head down, and brassicas or whatever, like that's all good. In the rut, bouncing around, got a hot doe potentially in the area, running off smaller bucks, like
grunting
man,
like crazy,
grunt-
just
yeah.
moving around, posturing up.
Like he's definitely not going where you think he's going to be going because he's down in the creek. Like, why would you go down in the creek?
Why would you jump in 4 foot of water and swim?
I don't
You got a perfectly good flat piece of grass. You can just walk to 38 yards.
You could just
We're just gonna hop in this pond over here and swim across it, and then go up this creek. Like,
so.
if you would have told me in 100 years that would happen, I'd be like, nope, that would never happen.
Mega's gonna come on the backside of this pinch, hop right in this creek, and just go up.
Just
there
go
at 50.
literally everywhere you can't shoot, and then to 50 yards.
After this hot doe is just right here at 38 yards. He's like, no. He's gonna be right on that doe trail. I was trying to think which way the wind is blowing, but it was blowing out of the north. I was thinking if he, like that smaller buck did in the evening, got off because the wind was blowing it. But no. That was total opposite. One thing I wanted you to touch on is the pics of him the year before, and maybe touch on West Side being down there too.
So I hunted this piece the year before, and we ran trail cameras early, and this is that piece that we had the trail camera trouble, like just ass loads of cards missing, batteries messed with, camera cards pulled and put back, and they got a password on them, so the camera ain't running for 15 days, you know what I mean? So I got pictures of this deer, unmistakable, last year.
Yeah.
He's probably 150 last year, right?
Yeah.
A really nice deer. I'm thinking he's, I don't know, 170 this year. Maybe, I don't know. He's got just giant beams. And he's got like 9-inch brows. I mean, his brows are so solid, thick.
Right.
And then he's got the kickers and the split.
Because when we got him on cam last year, we said probably 150, mid 150.
Yeah.
And it was the first pictures we got of him.
Yeah.
On a sweet Tasco cam.
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, it was a good pics.
Yeah, it was.
So
he's sticking his tongue out at us, and
Yeah.
he's doing that right now out there.
Right,
Yeah, I got a picture
right.
of him sticking his tongue out. But so that is 2 miles.
what were his brows like last year?
Same. Pretty
Same?
good brows.
Damn.
Heavy. Not as tall though. Same, yeah, but that one smaller than the other. The G3 is real loopy and comes in.
Yeah, it goes forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That-
That was the dead giveaway.
Yeah, 'cause he had the split two.
Split two,
He was a
and the-
9, same brows, and then that G3 just
G3 just-
looping like crazy. We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
But that's 2 miles from where the crow flies. That's as the crow flies. Like that's across a 40-acre lake. So
Bunch of open fields.
a bunch of open cornfields.
ridges.
That's like if he just started one spot and ran in a straight line.
It was like Yoshi and grew wings.
Yeah.
It just flew back
2
there.
miles from where I got trail cam pictures of him last year.
Yeah, and we didn't have any pictures of him up there this year because
No, yeah.
we were up there kind of searching hardcore, and you're like, "Where's this mega at?"
Yeah, I was
you
like,
know?
"Where's this deer at?" We were thinking maybe he got killed, or because they go on the
We
private.
could have got
and-
hit in the road.
Yeah, that road right there is bad.
Is busier
Yeah.
than you think.
And then West Side, the buck we called West Side because we got him on the west side of the property. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Only shooter over there,
Yeah, only shooter over there. Probably, I think that deer is 5 or 6.
dude.
Just giant. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say he's high 130s, 140.
He's got like freeze main beam mass,
Yeah,
dude.
he's got like heavy mass, real wide, probably 26.
25.
Yeah,
Yeah.
25. If you see, there's a video of him on. Where did we put that video up? Was it on TikTok of him walking away in the beans?
Oh yeah, or it was.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it.
yeah,
Yeah, just absolute mega. I was out there glassing and just walking right away in the beans. Just
We're gonna get in the back view of big giant bucks.
yeah. But anyways, we were on him early season like money,
Mm-hmm.
and then the 8th of October he daylights.
4 times in one day,
Yeah,
in and out.
it was
in and
like
out.
67 that day or 65.
70. It was like 72
So yeah, it was hot, and he's daylighting midday.
on a south wind.
Daylighting 2:50, 7 o'clock, right in the morning, and all in the scrape that I'd found the previous year. And we were like, "Oh, this is good." And we hunted there 3 times.
Yeah,
Yeah, hunted there 3 times,
real
and
quick. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, and didn't see a deer the first set. Seen 5 does the second set. Never seen a buck there.
No.
You seen a couple does there
Yeah, I went there
Friday evening.
Friday night, and
Yeah.
in my tree interview, I was like, "Well, we're here on the west side, hunting west side, but west side's 2 miles away."
Yeah. But so that same area as this other buck, Magnum PI is what
Yeah.
we named him.
Yep.
We just named him that. I go, homie, that was a Magnum PI. I don't even know. I don't know what no idea.
Just
but,
a magnum.
yeah, just a Magnum. Magnum Piece is what I was thinking, but I just said PI
You
instead
could do
of
Magnum Public
yeah
something.
I just said
Incognito.
Magnum Piece is what I wanted to say, but I said
Right.
Magnum PI. but anyways, that's the same area in the summer, early season that I had that buck. 2 miles away, he's on back there. West Side that's the only buck that we had on trail cam that we did not see was
Yeah.
West Side.
And that might have been the deer I seen Saturday morning. It split second, just trying to get you heads
Yeah,
up. You know,
would think if he was that wide. You said he was mega
Man,
wide.
He
but
was wide, yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like West Side's got like kind of short tines. I feel like the deer I seen was taller.
I don't know if he has such short times and picks because he has so much mass.
That
and it
could
makes
be.
him look short, or
Right.
if they are just short. You know what I mean? Because like you look at Freeze, it doesn't look like the time length of that buck we seen out there just crushed Freeze.
Right, and I feel like on trail cam, Freeze was short
time.
looking. Yeah. But yeah, he's got nine, almost 10-inch twos.
Yeah. So I think, and when we got that picture of him turned, you can see that it's a really good deer. It's just hard to judge him on trail cam sometimes when you
Yeah.
get that mass involved, and he's got good brows.
I think mass trips everybody
Yeah.
up. I mean, it might just be me, but I feel like it trips a lot of people
Yeah.
up.
But yeah. So then Magnum PI, the giant,
Yep.
another half mile from where he was at. Was that the 12th of October?
I want to say the 19th. I'll
Anyways,
double check here real quick.
Anyways, he is a half mile across a whole bunch of stuff in the opposite direction we got him on trail cam.
17th.
The 17th of October, he's bedded on a edge of a cornfield in the middle of the night. That cornfield is a half mile from where he was, but then we got him coming from the other way on the 4th.
Yeah.
So that deer came from, that's a mile or so.
Yeah.
From the 14th of October, you said that was 14th?
17th.
17th of October to the 4th of November. He's a mile away.
He's a mile west.
Yeah, and going west. And then now he's back there where we are in the middle. So that thing had a mile-ish range.
Just this year.
This year, but last year he was 2 miles away.
Yeah. He was
So,
2 miles northwest last year.
Those deer out there, like you hear people say, oh, I shot this buck 2 miles away. You don't believe them. You're like, there ain't no way that deer.
Yeah.
But we're talking about deer moving like before the rut's like really hardcore. They're not like looking for,
It's not
there's
like
a lot of hot does. They're not like looking,
Yeah.
cruising main properties. Like, it's not like the 19th of November and a buck's like cruising crazy trying to find a doe.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not like it was right now.
Yeah.
Like November 10th, and a hot doe drug him 2 miles.
Yeah.
You know, because she was ready to be bred in 4 hours.
Yeah, that buck was there before the rut happened. West Side was there, you know.
Let's see, we had Westside on the October 8th after almost like a 3-week absence.
Yeah, he just shows up one
and
day.
he just shows up in and out of the bedding area, and then boom, he's rolling out at like 10:20, and then
It was so funny. I was like,
pops
yeah,
out
we're going to
November
kill
3rd.
him on the other side. And then we got trail cam pics of him back there. I was
Yeah.
like, that's the one deer that I wanted to see. I kind of had emotional attachment to that deer because I was
Right.
on him. I mean, he's my screensaver on my computer. Like, I was on him all early
he
season. Like,
actually worked for us on cam a little
yeah,
bit.
for velvet, like
Oh,
early
dude.
velvet hunt, like when that Kentucky season, that deer is so dead.
The Tennessee season, yeah.
that- I had him going in the morning to bed like repeatedly.
But we would have double bucked at Boonertown on Chaos
Yeah,
and TT
I know.
at 1 in the afternoon
Yeah.
or whatever time that was.
But yeah, 2 miles. So that just goes to
so
show you.
that's 2 bucks confirmed, 2 miles, and
From literally
the
one edge of the
Magnum
property to the
PI's
other.
Magnum PI's 2.5 miles.
Yeah.
From like first initial
first
discovery.
initial discovery. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
God.
it's just cool how, like, you know, we always say we want that property where we can figure out what these bucks are doing. You know what I mean? So, like, we know where to put pictures out or cams out to see if West Side survived. We know where to put pictures out to see if Magnum PI survived next year. And then we know where to go during the rut to kill
And
them.
this year, Magnum PI's, like Cody said, bedded down right on the corn, right on the edge of known heavy buck bedding. I don't know if many does are bedded in there, but definitely a lot of buck sign, a lot of buck beds in there. And he was there October 17th, just chilling.
We never
with,
did
with
see
another
that.
buck.
We never did see the giant 9-pointer though.
Nope, didn't see him.
But real good deer. That was
Yeah.
a super cool deer. Real heavy 9. But yeah, we never seen him back there. I got a picture of a 9-pointer that I need to show you on the card.
I was just saying.
I don't think it's a 9-pointer I passed because he's right up on the camera, but he looks like that 9-pointer on the edge of the field.
That when I seen that 9 both times in the morning and the evening yesterday,
Yeah.
I wasn't even like jacked up. Like that was not even a no way, no how deal.
Yeah.
I feel like Sunshine's bigger than that deal.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny yesterday. Like we are just sitting in the stand and Cody's like, "Shit, man, I think I got pictures of that deer last year." And as soon as you said that, I was like, "Yeah, you do." And then you pulled out the pics, and I was like, I know exactly what deer you're talking about with the split two, just like that." And it's just crazy, like how you end up connecting the dots a little bit, you know, get a little history built and are able to do that. So 50 yards.
50 yards.
50
50 yards and then 5 yards.
Oh, 5 yards on
And
a
then,
ugh.
yeah, I mean, so
Yeah, I don't think that was a 10 we had on cam, though.
no,
That was just
wasn't.
some
That was just
random-
some cruiser midday.
Oh,
We had a picture of him at all.
No.
You know, and then, I mean, the other cam we had Halloween daylight.
Yep.
The bottom cam we had November 3rd daylight. November 3rd was fire out there.
Yeah, November 3rd, yep.
Yeah, but West Side daylighted, big Magnum PI daylighted. The 10 spook. Old spook.
Old spook.
But yeah, like I said, this is Public's closed now.
Yep.
So we'll have to make the long stretch, early mornings, getting there at 4 a.m. to access. So you're waking up at 3, a little before 3 at your house to get there. So it'll be worth it. Next year we'll get out there and see what's happening. But we're not giving up on the Public. We still got the other piece that we got some history on there, and then we got the urban piece. So, but we're gonna be banging the private hard. Gonna be heading to Missouri for rifle season. I'm sure you guys will hear a couple podcasts from that. We're gonna sign off on this one. As you can tell, we had a couple good rut hunts to keep us going through this rutcation, and try to get out there. Bucks are moving. A lot of people are putting deer down right now. Every day I get a text, just smash the stud. I'm like, dang. So congratulations to everyone that's got it done out there. Try to leave a legacy, and Whitetail Legacy's out.